Hey guys, so today's video is just going to be a quick costume update. I've been super busy lately and I haven't had a ton of time for sewing lately, so this is just going to be an update on what I'm sort of up to. I'm currently working on an 1871 dress. I've decided to put the wishing dress on hold for right now and work on a historically accurate 1871 dress for just sort of practice for the wishing dress, since I've never made anything historically accurate, especially from that era, and I want to make sure that I do the wishing dress right because I'm going to be spending a lot of money on the fabric and I don't want to mess it up or anything. So I figure making a dress from the same era that I'm basing it off of will be a good practice for it, so I can get familiar with a lot of the techniques and just be familiar with the styles and whatnot, you know. So I've been working on this off and on for a couple weeks now. But so far I'm just in the mock-up phase of working on the skirt, and I'll be starting working on the bodice after I finish the mock-up for the skirt. So here's just sort of what I have so far and what I'm doing. This is the pattern I'm using, and it is the 1870-71 dress from Patterns of Fashion 2 by Janet Arnold. I'm mostly just using the skirt pattern for this and the overskirt, and I'm going to use a different pattern for the bodice. And so here's the pattern. What I've done is, instead of getting the pattern enlarged, because that was a pain, I traced out the skirt patterns, measured it all out, counted all the squares, and got the measurements. Measured that out here, made my notes on how many to cut and whatnot, and then for the last one here, and then I just traced it out on my muslin and then cut it out of the muslin. And this is the pattern I'm planning on using for the bodice. It's the same pattern that I bought for the wishing dress, and so I figured I would use that since I'm basing this sort of as a more historically accurate wishing dress sort of thing, if that makes sense. But it's Truly Victorian TV 422. It's actually an 1880s bodice pattern, but I'm going to be modifying it and making it so it'll go over the bustle, and I'm also changing the neckline. I'm going to be changing the neckline to more like this shape because I really like that shape, and plus since this is sort of a trial version of the wishing dress, I wanted to do what I would do for that as much as possible. And I actually found an actual 1875 dress on Pinterest that has pretty much the same neckline, and I really like it. I think it's really pretty, and so I really want to do that. And plus the seams on this one are pretty much the same from what I can see as on this pattern. There's two darts here, so that'll make it just a little bit easier for me. And here's the skirt that I have so far, and I only have half of it right now, and it's over top of my bustle petticoat, my petticoat, and my corset on my mannequin right now. And it has a little train. I trimmed it back compared to what the original pattern was because I didn't want a huge train, but I like the shape of this. And it's gathered, it's up to the back. The front is flat, and when I do the actual thing, these will be cartridge pleats. And as you can see, I just have it gathered right now. Also, right now my pattern, something was off in my measurements, and the skirt's uneven a bit, and the front's a little bit too short, so I gotta fix that before I make the actual pattern for this. And here's the front. A little tip, whenever I work on mock-ups, I like to use a strange colored thread. That way I'm, one, not wasting my good white thread, and two, that way I can see it easier. I find it really helpful, and I think it's something that's just really simple but makes a big difference. Also, I always do a lot of writing on my mock-ups. I always number the panels, I make notes on it, like make it bigger here, at seam allowance, you know, whatever. I always, or center front, side back, whatever. I like putting lots of notes on my mock-ups. And that's what I have for right now. I will be hopefully working on this more this weekend. That's my plan anyways. I'm really excited for this dress and I really can't wait until I get to actually be working on the real thing besides the mock-up, you know. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, like it, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.